Setting up meeting for live. All right, live.
Yay.
Gilmore Girls, a different revival, episode 1. Music, There She Goes by the Laws. We can't actually play it because this video would get taken down otherwise. Fade from black into a winter's day sky. We pan down to exterior, Stars Hollow, day. Lorelai Gilmore, age 48, walks past a sign that reads Stars Hollow, founded 1779, toward Luke's Diner. She passes a young boy on a hoverboard just before entering. Interior, Luke's Diner, day. Lorelai heads to the counter, where Luke Danes is refilling someone's coffee. She doesn't sit down, but instead...
Why do we call them hoverboards if they don't hover? That's stupid, right?
Afternoon.
They're scooters without handlebars. They're dumb-looking skateboards. They're not hoverboards. Why do we call them hoverboards?
Coffee?
I just think we jumped the gun on naming these things, when in the future we might create actual hoverboards. And then what are we going to call them?
Dangerous?
You're not taking this seriously, are you?
Nope.
Do you at least agree calling them hoverboards is stupid?
Yeah, of course.
She kisses him, then sits down. He pours coffee into a takeout cup.
Wow, just tell me you don't want me to stick around.
Okay, you have to be in Hartford in half an hour. You don't have time to stick around.
Not if I speed. Luke, my mother will be so distracted by Rory being home, I could walk in an hour after dinner naked and doing the backwards talk from the red room, and she wouldn't notice. I don't like being there right now. It reminds me.
Yeah, I know.
It's not the same without him. Whenever I'm there, there's a void where he used to be. And I'm so tired of having to pretend it's not there. Since all anyone could think about, even if we don't say it, my mom looks so small.
Lorelai sighs, then reaches for her takeout coffee cup, steeling herself. Luke places one hand on her forearm and takes back the cup with the other. He pours half into a ceramic coffee mug and leaves half in the paper cup.
You don't have to leave like this exact second if you don't want to.
You're an angel with wings.
Exterior, Stars Hollow, outside Luke's Diner, day. Lorelai steps outside with her half-filled takeout cup and heads over to her ancient, somehow functional Jeep Wrangler. Kirk Gleason spots her from halfway down the street. He hurries over.
Yeah.
He hurries over, lugging a giant briefcase with him.
Lorelai, wait a moment. I have to show you my pins.
He opens the briefcase, revealing a display of 3 large round buttons. One says Jackson Belleville, one says Taylor Dosey, and one says Mrs. Gleason.
They're for sale. Let me explain.
Kirk, it is genuinely destroying me that I am running late and can't talk now. But next time I see you, I will be following up on this because I do have questions. Several.
It makes sense in context.
Lorelai gets back in the driver's seat and shuts the door. Through the back window, we see Kirk drop his briefcase and scramble to find his pins in the grass. Lorelai's cell phone rings, and when she sees who it is, her face instantly brightens.
Hey, kiddo!
We cut to Rory, who is at the Gilmore mansion. Emily is sitting in a chair just out of frame, just a leg and arm visible.
Are you on your way?
Halfway there.
You just left, didn't you?
Yep.
She just left?
No, she's halfway here.
Good daughter.
Rory steps out of the living room, holding up a hand to Emily that she'll be just a moment.
You're not driving now, are you? And if you are, you're using the headset I bought you, right?
No, I'm not driving, Mother.
Call me that again and I'm putting her on the phone. When do you think you'll be here?
Emotionally?
I'm putting her on the phone.
Half an hour. If traffic's good, I'll probably be a little late. I'm sorry. Can you make up an excuse my mom will buy?
I don't have to. I told you to be here 20 minutes sooner than you needed to be.
You what?
I'm not sorry.
You said you were going to stop doing that.
I'll stop doing it when you stop making it necessary.
Yeah, well, Santa isn't real.
Mm-hmm. See you soon?
Been too long.
Exterior Gilmore Mansion day. Lorelai pulls up to her childhood home. She heads to the front door and hesitates for a long moment before ringing the doorbell. The door opens, revealing Rory Gilmore, now 32.
You!
They embrace tightly.
You cut your hair!
No, I didn't.
Was it curly the last time I saw you?
No.
Something about it is different.
Nothing's changed.
If you say so. You look incredible.
I look like I just drove 2.5 hours in a car with the heat permanently set to Mordor. You are the one that looks incredible.
Don't lie for mommy's sake. I got less than 3 hours sleep last night.
No. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. MTV was doing one of their 24-hour marathons of Legally Blonde, the musical. Made it to Ireland the 4th time that I crashed.
Understandable.
Rory glances towards the living room while Lorelai takes off and hangs up her coat.
Grandma's probably wondering where we are.
Come to think of it, where's the maid?
Grandma gave her the day off. Said there wasn't enough for her to do.
But it's Mom's birthday.
I know.
This is the closest thing she's having to a birthday party.
I know.
You drove all the way from the Big Apple to get here.
Do not call it that.
And she sent the maid home?
The cook, too.
What?
Grandma's gonna heat everything up in the microwave before dinner. I know. Yeah, that was pretty much my reaction, but I kept it a little bit subtler.
Lorelai, Rory, what's taking so long?
Lorelai manages to force her expression into something resembling neutrality, and both she and Rory enter the living room. Emily Gilmore rises from the sofa, holding a Manhattan. She and Lorelai hug, and while it's far from the warmest embrace in the world, it is genuine.
Happy birthday, Mom.
You're on time.
I surprise even myself sometimes.
Well, help yourself. Have a seat.
Lorelai heads to the drink cart and begins to fix herself a martini.
So, how does it feel to turn 40, Mom?
Rory, I just finished reading your piece in BuzzFeed the other day, and it was lovely.
Oh, I didn't know you'd read it yet.
You made me feel as though I was really there with you in the middle of that cult.
Well, they weren't really a cult, more like a group of people who really like Star Wars, who somehow managed to rent a house together.
That part about the Wookiee altar certainly made it a cult in my book. Don't downplay yourself. It's so exciting. I learned what a Wookiee is. You've accomplished so much. Your mother and I are beyond proud of you.
Can't argue there.
I really haven't done that much. I've been lucky with some of the freelance pieces, but it's not like I'm not a staff writer anywhere.
Well, that's even better. You're not beholden to any one place. You can spread your word far and wide. I've framed each and every one of your New Yorker pieces.
Oh, God.
And you may try to act as though you aren't important, young lady, but you are unimportant people verified on Twitter.
What?
Many of them.
You're verified on Twitter?
I was going to tell you.
When did this happen?
Last month, Mitzi Hollerman's daughter came to the DAR meeting and told me all about your blue Twitler checkmark. This one thought she could keep it a secret.
I didn't even know you knew what Twitter was.
Mitzi explained it beautifully.
You didn't tell me. How could you not tell me?
You're not even on Twitter.
So?
Okay, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to make a big deal, and it was only because I was technically on the staff at Vulture at the time. And
When did you write for Vulture?
Exactly. I said technically. It doesn't mean anything, just like my articles about Wookiee communes. They don't mean anything either.
Don't say your words don't mean anything. I've read them and I won't stand for it. What's going on?
What? Nothing's going on.
Then why this modesty? Be proud of yourself for once. You're your mother's daughter. I think it would come easily.
Yeah. You don't really think what you write doesn't mean anything, do you?
No, of course not. Thank you, Grandma. I'm glad you liked it.
What about you, Lorelai? What have you been accomplishing these days?
Staying alive.
She realizes what she said the minute after it's left her lips. She winces, as does Emily, who lets her facade drop for a very split second, but for that brief moment her grief is unmistakable. Rory gives her mother a seriously look.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Joke. It was a joke.
Everything's a joke with you.
I didn't think. I'm sorry, Mom.
It's fine. Don't be ridiculous. It's just a figure of speech. No need to make a big production over nothing.
They sit in silence for a brief moment. No one seems to know what to say until Lorelai speaks up.
So, Mom, what's the deal with the maid?
Excuse me?
The maid. Why did you send her home early?
Because there was nothing for her to do.
Okay.
Is there a problem?
Well, Rory said the cook went home too.
And?
Well, that's just kind of weird for you.
Is it? Is it weird for a hired professional to prepare a simple meal earlier in the day? After all, I'm certainly capable enough to press a few buttons on a microwave oven, and if somehow find myself too feeble, I'll have the youthful strength of yourself and Rory to bolster myself through the strenuous event until I could find a couch or low sofa to drape myself on.
Okay, it's just not like you. That's all. I'm not saying it's bad.
Now, Rory, why don't you tell me a bit more about Twiddler?
Interior Gilmore dining room night. The table has been cleared. The Gilmore girls drink coffee, while Emily unwraps Rory's present. As she does, Lorelai's eyes wander over to the chair Richard would normally sit in. Her eyes wander to her mother, who she realizes has been watching her. They stare at each other for a brief moment, silently, then break the gaze. Emily finishes unwrapping the present, which is a massive box set of DVDs.
Oh my goodness, is that?
I remember you saying how much you loved it.
Emily's face brightens as she lifts the box set up, and we see it is the complete series of Perry Mason on DVD.
My goodness, I used to watch this when I was in high school. It feels like a lifetime ago. It practically was. And then later, when your grandfather and I first met.
She trails off and Rory's face falls, worried her gift has ruined the mood. But Emily smiles as she continues.
We talk about the previous episode on our dates. I didn't find out until years later that he hated the show, but kept watching it so he could talk about it the next day. Honestly, that man.
I miss him.
He was special.
Now I can watch these and relive those days again. Thank you, Rory.
I didn't know you still had a DVD player, Mom.
As opposed to what? A projector reel?
I don't know. Netflix? Hulu?
If I had one of those things, how would I watch your daughter's beautiful gifts? Besides, that DVD player was a valuable gift from a great and powerful person, and I couldn't bear to part from it.
Who? Wait, I got you that when Rory was in high school. Were you complimenting me just now, or was that sarcasm?
It was sarcasm, but I appreciate the concern.
She reaches for Lorelai's present and begins to unwrap it carefully, revealing a small jewelry box.
I'm afraid to see what's inside of this.
What, not a fan of crystal meth?
Emily opens the jewelry box and reveals a brooch. It's detailed without being gaudy, small but not too small. It's elegant, simple, completely inoffensive in every way, and exactly the kind of thing Emily Gilmore would wear. Emily stares at it, as does Rory.
This is exactly the sort of thing I would wear.
Hey, 48 years was bound to turn up one success.
Emily looks at Lorelai. She is cautiously impressed.
There's a gift receipt too, just in case.
That won't be necessary. Thank you, Lorelai.
Happy birthday, Mom. Guess it's better than the one I told you I was pregnant.
Don't be ridiculous. You told me that on June 16th.
Lorelai stares at her mother in surprise, who just raises an eyebrow in response.
And for what it's worth, that turned into the greatest present anyone could ever ask for.
Yeah. Well, Grandma, what have you been doing these days?
Oh, I have my DAR meetings.
And
I'm doing some gardening. It's been lovely. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
going to do it anyway.
Well, it's misplaced. Worry about your mother.
What does she have to worry about me for?
Your makeup could be better.
Lorelai can't help but smile. Interior Gilmore living room night. Lorelai and Rory gather their things as they get ready to leave. Rory and Emily talk in the background about Twitter, and as Rory reluctantly promises Emily she'll set her up with an account, Lorelai's gaze travels across the room to the portrait over the fireplace of herself, her mother, and her father painted when she was a child. The words of Rory and Emily fade away into a static hum as Lorelai stares into the eyes of her father, who we linger on for a while so closely the brush strokes are visible. Cut to the full portrait, then almost instantly to Lorelai, who gasps softly as though waking from a dream. Emily, listening to Rory, watches her daughter but doesn't say anything.
One sec, sorry.
Lorelai walks quickly out of the room to the guest bathroom. She sits on the closed toilet seat, closes her eyes, wraps her arms around her torso, and exhales deeply, not moving. We linger just a beat too long. Exterior Gilmore Mansion night. Lorelai and Rory exit the Gilmore Mansion, each carrying a Ziploc bag of food. Rory holds hers up.
Has she ever given us a doggy bag before?
I didn't even know she knew what a doggy bag was.
She seemed okay though, right?
I think.
I hate thinking of her all alone in there. She has her DAR meetings, but like, aside from that,
No, I know.
I just miss him. And I know she does too, but I don't know how to talk about it with her. And when I try, she just says she's fine.
She is, in her own way.
Is she though?
Lorelai doesn't answer. They start towards their respective cars.
I'm glad you're staying for a bit.
Of course. I couldn't do that drive twice in one day, and I've missed you.
Good to know your order of priorities.
Rory gives Lorelai a quick hug, briefly resting her head on her shoulder.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'll follow you back to Stars Hollow, but I told Lane I'd drop by, and I won't be too long.
Tell her and the Wonder Twins I said hi.
I will.
Oh, and if you're going to be in town, could you stop at Doosey's and pick up some gummy bears and marshmallows and root beer? We're low. I'll pay you back.
I'll buy you your stuff, but you never pay me back.
The pain of childbirth.
You're going to have to stop milking that eventually.
Only when it stops getting results.
Lorelai tries to hand Rory money for the food, but Rory pushes her hand aside and heads to her car. As they get in, we pan upstairs. Emily briefly appears at a window before vanishing. Exterior Stars Hollow night. Rory wanders the streets. Various residents call out greetings to her, which she returns, before entering Doosey's Market. Interior Doosey's Market night. Rory stands in the candy aisle, a shopping basket packed with junk food at her feet. She lifts up 2 packages of gummy bears and studies them. After a moment of thought, she drops one in her basket. Her arm brushes against the arm of the shopper Rory didn't realize has appeared next to her.
Oh, sorry.
Rory pauses, as does the woman. It's Lindsay, the ex-wife of Dean. They stare at each other frozen for a long moment.
Hi.
Lindsay doesn't reply. Her facial expression doesn't change. She just stares at Rory, who takes a few steps backwards, then walks down the aisle and out of the store. Exterior stars hollow night. The town troubadour plays a song as Rory hurries down the street. She makes it halfway across the town square, stops, hurries back towards the market, and tosses the package of gummy bears through the open door of Dosey's market. Taylor Dosey sticks his head outside.
We have a return policy.
Rory doesn't seem to hear this. She is already halfway to Wayne's house.
It's good to see you, Roy. Would you tell your mom that I said...
Taylor's voice trails off as we follow Rory. She nearly pauses in front of Kim's Antiques, before catching herself and continuing another block to Wayne Kim's house. She knocks quickly on the door, and it opens to reveal Wayne Kim.
Oh my God! Hi! You look amazing! Have you been jogging?
Kind of.
What's wrong? Come in.
She steps aside to let Rory enter, but hugs her tightly as she passes. Rory returns the hug with just as much intensity.
I've missed you.
I have missed you. Social media isn't the same as seeing someone.
It isn't.
But I'm glad I get to see what you're up to. I loved that article about the Wookiee house.
Oh, thanks. You read that?
Of course I did. Hey, did you change your hair?
What? No.
They enter the living room. One wall is covered with photos taken at various concerts and life events, along with a framed magazine article. Wayne puts a finger to her lips and nods towards the door down the hall.
I just got them to sleep. They're going on a field trip to the Pickle House in Woodbury tomorrow, so it was a battle.
What exactly is a pickle house?
You know, I don't know. And I still signed the permission slip.
Rory sits on the couch and Wayne sits across from her.
So, what's wrong? Something's wrong. I don't care if it's been 6 months since I've seen you in person, but I can tell if something's wrong. Is something wrong?
Kind of. I just saw Lindsay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What did she say?
Sorry, but only because our arms bumped into each other, and when she saw it was me, she didn't say anything else, and I said hi like an idiot, because what else was I going to say? Well, I said sorry first, but that was also because of the arm brushing, and oh my God.
When is the last time you saw her?
Since our moms yelled at each other in the street.
What? But that was like...
That summer, right after I wrote the letter to Dean.
You haven't seen her since the affair?
I hate it when you call it that.
But that's what it was.
Yeah, that's why I hate it when you call it that.
Fine. Since you had relations with her husband...
No. Go ahead. Just say it.
Okay. I lost my place. Hold on, give me a second. Right. Okay, so you haven't seen her at all since the affair.
Why would I? Dean and I did our best to avoid being in the same places that she would be, and then that ended, and I was at school, and, you know, we just never crossed paths. And then she moved, but I guess her family didn't.
Did she seem angry?
She didn't seem anything. She just stared at me. I wish I'd said something.
What would you have said?
I don't know, something. Why didn't I say anything?
We can talk about it, or you want to talk about something else?
Can we? Just for a minute?
Of course.
Thank you. So what's been going on with you?
Did I tell you Hep Alien is going to do a 15-year anniversary concert in New Haven next summer?
15 years? Are you serious?
Next year, at least.
You've come a long way from my mom's garage.
We've done okay.
You've done more than okay.
At this point, the anniversary shows are the only shows we do together, but there's something kind of nice about that, you know? Everyone's doing their own thing, but we can get together now and then and relive the old magic and then go back to our own projects.
And it's not weird seeing Zach?
Nah, that stuff was so long ago that aside from the part where he's the father of my kids, I don't think about him like that.
Seriously?
Well, it's always going to be a little weird, but we've been apart way longer than we were married, and I like the guy. He's funny and sweet and well-meaning and a great dad and a great drummer. Or, I'm a drummer. A great guitarist. Whew. He's just not for me that way, you know? And I'm just not for him. And, I don't know, that's okay.
I wish all divorced couples were as amicable as you two.
My mom still calls it the great disaster.
The marriage or the divorce?
Both, I think. She still loves Zach. Goes to all of his shows and then only gives light critical notes.
Wow, that's a standing ovation for Mrs. Kim. If I don't get to see your mom before I go home, will you tell her I said hi? And Zach?
I will. They miss you.
I miss them. I've missed you.
Well, you've been living in the big city, being all big and important journalist.
I mean, I write articles about men who think George Lucas was replaced by a body double in 1998 and other fluff. You've accomplished actual things. You're a solo musician. You were in Rolling Stone.
I was not in Rolling Stone. Hep Alien was in Rolling Stone. Hep Alien was mentioned in passing in Rolling Stone. And only because Brian brought it up when they interviewed him. The rest of They Might Be Giants.
That's a big deal.
They misspelled it. They called us Hip Alien.
So?
It's really not a big deal.
You framed the article.
Because Brian was in it.
With Hip Alien highlighted and circled?
Zach did that.
I was in the room with you.
Oh. You have a good memory.
It's a big deal.
Brian's really the only one who hit it big.
So good for him. He did the impossible and you did the next best thing. And you get to open for them sometimes. Are the other They Might Be Giants nice?
They are so nice. And they don't even get mad when I call each of them a They Might Be Giant as like a pronoun.
Oh, by the way, I've been meaning to ask, when is your next solo concert? Stop it. No, stop. You always act like you're never going to do another and then you do.
I don't know. It's just hard sometimes. There isn't much of a market for solo drum performances, you know?
But you're still doing it.
Is you're still doing it really a reason for doing anything? Especially a misguided solo career?
It's not a misguided solo career. People come and you like it. And you do still like it, don't you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, I'm just being hard on myself. I'm just taking a break, but I'll be back up there again.
Are there ever times that you think you might want to stop doing it? Like, even though it's your passion, that you don't know if you want that break to ever end?
Well, there are times like now when I'm tired and I'm worn out, when I need to take a little break from music because I'm just not being productive or even happy. There are definitely times I don't want to do it anymore, but then it comes back. And at some point it always does. And deep down I always know it will, even if I don't know it. It's just not, it's not something I can just walk away from, you know?
Well, what if you've been waiting a long time and it doesn't come back? How do you make it come back?
It just does, eventually. But if it didn't, well, then I'd figure out what that means.
The door to the twins' bedroom opens and Steve steps out.
Oh.
Have to use the bathroom.
Then go use the bathroom, buddy.
Hi, Rory.
Hey, Steve. You're getting so big. How old are you now?
9. How old are you?
Steve!
What? She asked me first.
I'm 32.
Whoa, wow. My teacher is 22 and she never learned how to drive. I'm going to use the bathroom now.
Hey, before you go, what is a pickle house?
It's a pickle house. Huh.
He disappears down the hall and shuts the door.
Figured as much.
Interior, Lorelai and Luke's house night. Rory opens the unlocked door quietly and creeps in, shutting it silently behind her and locking it. The lights are on, but the house is completely silent. Rory slips into the living room where Lorelai and Luke are asleep on the sofa. A somewhat aged Paul Anka shuffles up to Rory, and she takes a moment to pet him before standing back up. She drops her purse, which causes Lorelai to jerk awake, which in turn causes Luke to jerk away.
You're back!
Hey, sorry, that took a little longer than I thought it would.
Rory, so good to see you.
Luke and Rory share an embrace that is simultaneously both awkward and loving, much like them.
Oh, you look great. I loved your Wookiee article.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, we have all your greatest hits up on the fridge. The diner, but also the fridge.
No, you're kidding. No.
Mm-hmm. People love them. And the one about the guy who collected oil, collected all that pus in Mountain Dew bottles, edge of the seat, let me tell you. Okay? I didn't know there could even be that much pus in one place.
How are you? How's April?
Oh, I'm great. You know me. I don't need too much.
Hey!
You know what I mean. And April's great. She's in grad school now.
Wow.
Full scholarship, too. I think she's teaching the professors.
That's amazing.
But listen, hey, it's late. You must be exhausted. We'll have plenty of time to catch up tomorrow, all right? I'll let you get some rest.
He grabs his wallet and cell phone from the table as he gets ready to head to bed.
Wait, is that a smartphone?
I don't want to talk about it.
I made him get one.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh my God, this is huge. Congratulations, Luke. You can start playing Candy Crush with the rest of the world now.
Nope. And I don't want to talk about it. So.
He already plays it.
I don't.
Lorelai looks at Rory when Luke turns away briefly and mouths, "He does."
Hey, did you do something to your hair?
What? No. Why does everyone keep asking that?
Oh my God, it's not just me. I thought I was going crazy.
There's nothing different about my hair.
Huh. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was a big thing. My bad. This is why I never mention girl stuff.
Since when is having hair a girl thing?
Okay, you know what I mean.
Hey, were you going to get me gummy bears?
Interior Rory's bedroom night. Rory enters her childhood bedroom. It's the same minus the books that used to fill shelves and boxes, and plus a few bits of old furniture stored in a corner. She flops on her bed, fully clothed, not bothering to put down her purse. We hear footsteps, the door opens, and Lorelai sits next to her and lies down.
Hey.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Okay. Tired. I don't know.
Everything's okay. You seem out of it.
I'm fine.
You haven't been all that excited about work or any of your pieces lately, and tonight...
I'm okay. I don't know. I'm in a weird place, but I'll figure it out.
Talk to me about it.
Another night? I'm sorry. Tonight I'm just... I saw Lindsay at Doosey's.
Lorelai sits up. Rory doesn't.
Lindsay? Dean's Lindsay? Sorry.
Yeah, Dean's Lindsay. She must have been visiting family or something, and I was getting the snacks, and there she was, and we just kind of bumped into each other, and we both said sorry, and then we realized who the other was, and we just kind of stared, and I said hi, and why would I say hi?
What else would you say?
I don't know. It's been 12 years, something other than hi.
Well, every conversation has to start somewhere.
It's not like I haven't thought about her. I do. Every so often I can't help but think all about it and what it must have been like for her. And then I just sort of push it down and keep going because what else can I do?
You could talk to me.
And say what? What is there really to say other than I slept with a married man?
Lorelai lies back down next to Rory.
When is the last time you saw her?
When you were yelling at her mom.
I probably shouldn't have done that. It's all just a blur to me.
It's kind of a blur to me too. And we just sort of ran into her, and then she was yelling, and you were yelling, and
Oh, I should have handled that so much differently.
hey, you're preaching to the choir, and you did the best that you could.
I should have done more. I should have guided you more when everything happened. I should have helped.
You tried, and I yelled and ran off with Grandma and didn't speak to you for a couple of months. It's on me.
I still feel like I should have helped more after the fact. I was just so glad you were talking to me again and that you were addressing things and you wanted so badly to handle the situation on your own, and then it all seemed to die down and you seemed all right. Question.
Yeah?
I've never really thought about it, but did you ever talk to Lindsay after everything came out? Even once?
No. She found the letter, Dean moved out, and we saw her on the street with her mom that one time, but that was it. And I think it's too late now. But I should have said something. I should have said something. Shouldn't I? I mean, even if she didn't accept an apology, I should have apologized. I should have done something.
Lorelai doesn't reply. She runs a hand through her daughter's hair, and Rory buries her head into her shoulder. Interior, Lorelai and Luke's bedroom night. Lorelai walks in from the bathroom. She's wearing adult-sized Brady Bunch pajamas and appears to be deep in thought. Luke is half asleep, but even he senses her mood as she climbs into bed.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You don't seem fine.
I'm fine.
All right, you're lying. What's wrong with Rory?
Lorelai sighs deeply and runs a hand through her hair. Luke takes her other hand between both of his and holds it against his chest. Lorelai looks at him and contemplates how much to tell him.
Don't repeat this.
I won't.
Really, really don't repeat this.
Oh, for God's sake.
Luke!
Yeah, I promise. I will go to the grave with it.
Rory ran into Lindsay.
Who?
Luke!
I don't know any Lindsays. What? Who?
Lindsay! Lindsay Lister. I think that's her maiden name. Unless she's gotten married since. I don't know.
Lindsay Lister.
God, the woman Dean was married to for about 5 minutes.
Oh. God, yeah. Lindsay. Wow. Yeah, that marriage fell apart. How is she? I know her folks still live in town.
I don't know. I just know Rory bumped into her.
Okay. I don't know where you're going with this.
It occurs to Lorelai that Luke never totally pieced together the backstory between Rory and Dean's third and final attempt at a relationship.
That summer, a million years ago, when Sookie and I opened Dragonfly, when we kissed for the first time, you had to go away right after the opening weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Liz and TJ broke a bunch of bones and needed help at the Renaissance Fair stand. I managed to repress that summer.
You were away for weeks until we saw each other again.
Yeah, and a hat that I think had bells. Yeah, it was miserable. Ugh. Anyway, what does this have to do with Rory and Dean's ex-wife?
It's nothing, really. Not my business to tell. Forget it.
Luke clearly wants to discuss this more, but he can tell by Lorelai's tone and the fact that it's about her daughter that it's a fight he won't win.
All right. Night.
Night. I love you.
Luke squeezes her hand.
Right back at you. Squeeze, squeeze.
Interior, Luke's diner morning. Lorelai and Rory sit at a table at the diner. Rory glances up and sees several of her articles framed on one of the walls. Alongside them is a framed photo of teenage Rory at the diner, smiling awkwardly in her Chilton school uniform.
Oh my God, Mom.
Lorelai turns her head to see what Rory's looking at, ponders for a moment, turns back.
Fair enough. We'll take down the photo, but the articles stay. Deal?
Deal.
Rory gets up, takes the photo down herself, and hands it to Luke, who has approached the table, giving him a dirty look. Unruffled, he hands her 2 cups of coffee.
Thank you.
She hands one to her mother and sits back down. Kirk enters, lugging his briefcase. To the diners at large, he announces,
I have more pins.
He opens his briefcase. There are a handful or so more pins than before, each with the name of a Stars Hollow resident. Lorelai is included this time.
I apologize for the long lead time on each new pin, but I'm making these myself in my workshop/half bathroom. Production is limited, but results will last a lifetime.
Hey, Kirk, will you keep it down, bud? Okay, people are trying to eat.
Hey, Kirk, come over here.
Lorelai, I believe you had some follow-up questions?
Yeah. Mostly, what?
I am selling pins.
I see that.
Branded pins.
I see that as well.
Branded pins with the names of Stars Hollow residents.
Seeing all of this, the question is, why?
Glad you asked, Lorelai. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but we just concluded the election for our 45th president.
Oh, God, yeah. We're not talking about that.
Nope. Only when we're drunk. Please don't make us talk about that.
We have a limited amount of time together, and we do not want to talk about that. He doesn't even have a dog.
We're not talking about it.
That's just it. The election is over. So now we can put aside all the thoughts of politics until the next election in 2020. But what to do with all the energy? What to do with all the enthusiasm for our chosen deity and or candidate now that the time to cheer has ended? Keep it close and redirect it to a Stars Hollow resident of your choice. Instead of devoting your most intense thoughts and energy towards a politician, surprise someone, direct it towards them.
This is simultaneously the best and worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I mean worse as a compliment, Kirk.
How many have you sold?
None.
I'll take a Lorelai Gilmore, please.
Rooting for yourself, that's a sign of strong confidence and maturity, you know.
Nah, I don't want this to fall into the hands of my enemies. They could do things with it.
Like what?
I don't know. Leave it at the scene of a crime.
Why would you leave a pin with your own name at the scene of a crime?
Why does anyone do anything?
Since when do you have enemies?
I cut Andrew off in traffic the other day, and he's been looking at me pretty funny since.
I think you're safe.
How much for the pin, Kirk?
That will be a one-time payment of $39.99.
$39.99? Are you serious?
You have to understand, Lorelai, this is a one-man operation. It takes time and sweat and blood to produce these, literally.
It's just a lot.
Anytime Lulu has to use the bathroom, but my mother is in the main one, or my mother has to use the bathroom, but Lulu is in the main one, my workshop reverts back to its original function as a half bathroom. These pins aren't produced in any fancy warehouse in the Amazon.
Speaking of which, is that Mrs. Gleason pin referring to your mother or to Lulu?
My mother. The Lulu Gleason pin is special and not for sale.
It's just kind of funny that you'd call her Mrs. Gleason instead of her first name. Unless that's what you call her.
That is what I call her.
Oh, right. Right.
Are you going to buy the pin or not?
I think I'll pass this time, but thank you, Kirk.
I wish you mercy at the hands of what Andrew may do with one of these.
Tell Lulu I said hi.
Me too.
I will.
Kirk closes his briefcase and awkwardly heaves it out of the diner. Rory watches him go.
I want to write about him.
You can't. You know you can't. No one must ever write about him. If the world knew about him, they'd destroy him.
I know. It just doesn't seem fair that the one thing I've had some success on with profiles on, people who tend to be offbeat.
Kirk is not offbeat. Kirk is a universe unto himself. He's only to be observed, never documented.
He's perfect.
Outside, Kirk speed walks to catch up with an old woman. She hurries across the street.
Mrs. Gleason, wait up!
Leave me alone!
He is perfect. And he must be allowed to live out his life as freely as he's lived it so far. And then he will remain forever as a legend for the offspring.
Technically, wouldn't that be me?
The future offspring.
Yours or mine?
Anyway, you're sure you're fine with me leaving you here and going to work today?
It's fine. I haven't drawn on the wall since I was 4.
You didn't even draw on them. You wrote on them. Anyway, you can come with me if you want. I just might be too busy to be good company. But Sookie will be there and she'll kill me if she doesn't get to see you before she goes home, before you go home.
Well, I'd love to come, but I'm actually driving to New Haven and getting lunch with Paris and her daughter today. So, but I'll be back for dinner.
Paris, how is she?
Paris, you want to come? If you could take a day.
I really can't. It wouldn't be fair to Sookie, not with Michelle or on vacation in the Netherlands. But I'm honestly surprised at just how much I really want to see Paris.
She's Paris. She'll miss seeing you too.
Tell her I said hi, and the kid too.
I will.
Lorelai gets up for a coffee refill as Taylor enters the diner. He pauses, then strides over to Rory.
Roy, it is so wonderful to see you. And I wanted to apologize for being so short with you last night. It came to me that I realized that you've been living in the Big Apple so long now that you've adopted the habits of other young urban professionals, living that devil's bohemian lifestyle.
Oh.
You were obviously taking the gummy bears outside for an Instagram selfie photograph before buying them. I knew, but the lighting wasn't right, so you decided to return them. And city folks are always in a rush. Hence the throwing. I understand now.
Lorelai is watching this from the counter with Luke.
I can never tell if he's being passive aggressive or serious.
I don't know if he can either.
I'm sorry about that, Taylor.
Tut. Don't give it a second thought. I'm just thrilled to see Star Hollow's reigning ice cream queen back in the castle, even if it's for a few days. Lorelai, if you'll excuse me, Roy.
Rory finishes off her coffee and looks out the window. We see various familiar townspeople, including Miss Patty and Babette, pass by. Lindsay passes by as well. Rory freezes, then stares at her empty cup of coffee. She sits there for a moment, then turns to her mother to see what to do. But her mother is being bombarded with conversation from Taylor and hasn't noticed anything. Rory gets up and goes to the tiny bathroom off to the side of the diner. The door doesn't quite lock, but she still sits on the edge of the toilet, staring straight ahead, not sure what to do. Interior Dragonfly Inn, kitchen day. Lorelai sits in the kitchen as Sookie reads a letter from Michelle.
I can't believe Michelle wrote an actual letter and sent it in the mail. He only ever says, okay, to me in his texts. And it's just the 2 letters, not even a 4-letter O-K-A-Y.
I asked him to write me this one, and I paid for the postage. I wanted him to send me one of those fancy Netherlands stamps.
She holds up the envelope. The Netherlands stamp appears very ordinary.
Fancy. How is he?
Oh my gosh, let me just get together. He's having a great time in Amsterdam. He says he's more relaxed than he's ever been.
Relaxed? Michelle? Is he all right?
Oh, look, he mentioned you.
Wait, what?
He said he's been to a local coffee shop and that you would love the coffee there.
That is the nicest thing he's ever said about me.
You want to see something even better?
There's something better.
Look at the end.
I'll be back before the holidays. Don't burn the inn down. Tell Lorelai I said hello. Oh my God.
He does love you.
Interior Italian restaurant, New Haven, day. Rory sits at a table with Paris Gellar and her 7-year-old daughter, Hillary. Paris is very intense, as always.
You've done it. You were verified before me.
Was this a contest?
I could have been verified by now, after clarifying Carl Sagan's findings multiple times over, one would think, you know?
You certainly deserve it.
I wanted to speed it up. I tried to speak directly with the schmuck who runs the verification department. It went regrettably. There wasn't a restraining order, but it was one of those closer ones. So it's a no-go for me until someone else takes his sanctimonious fascist place, or until a new social media engine takes its place.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I've never been on Twitter before.
Never do.
Okay.
How old are you now, Hillary?
7. I was in the accelerated class in 1st grade, but I'm in the regular class for 2nd grade.
And that is perfectly fine. You are doing just great, Hillary. I am proud of you no matter what you do in school.
I know, Mommy.
It's your character I love more than anything before your grades or achievements. What?
No, it's nothing. I just never really thought about what you'd be like as a mother.
It's how Nanny raised me, to counteract with my parents.
We visited Nanny in Boise last summer.
She has the loveliest condo. I never wanted to come home. Rory, did you change your hair?
What? No. Why do people keep asking that?
Because it's different. Anyways, that Wookiee article was something.
Oh, God.
No, it was fine. It was fun, if you like fun things.
It was total fluff. It was nothing. A nothing burger. It was a chance to laugh at weird people. I wish I didn't write it.
Do you wish you hadn't gotten all the views on the article on BuzzFeed?
That's fair, but who's really reading that?
Your audience. Don't degenerate them just because you think they're lower class than you. Oh, don't give me that look. You've always done it. You think your writing is only good if it's high class outlet. The people who read your stuff, so-called fluff, are taking time out of their day to devote themselves to something you wrote. Do you know how many folks would kill for others to read what they wrote?
You're right.
I wrote a story about a bird once.
And it was the best story about a bird the world's ever seen.
I'd love to see it someday.
His name is Roger and his voice sounds like Mommy's. I'll include it in my 2nd collection.
I can't wait to read it. Don't let my self-doubt influence you.
It won't.
Paris, are you teaching today?
Yep, bringing Hillary with me to see Mommy in action. Never thought I'd leave Yale only to come back.
Hey, I thought I was the negative one.
I'm not being negative. I'm just thinking of all the other things I'm going to achieve.
You've done a lot already. Plus, you nearly beat Ken Jennings on Jeopardy.
Nearly. That bastard genius.
I watched Jeopardy once.
You did a great job at it, kiddo.
Interior Jeep Wrangler stars Hollow Evening. Lorelai is driving home when her phone rings. She holds up her headset, makes a face, and tosses it aside. She stares at the phone and considers picking it up while driving, then thinks better of it and pulls over.
Hello?
Oh, good. It didn't go straight to voicemail as you somehow missed my call.
Mom, hey.
So I've been banned from Twitter.
What? What did you do? You had an account?
Rory kept trying to talk me out of making an account, so I stopped waiting for her to help, and I did it myself. I followed her, my local DAR chapter, and the larger DAR account.
Sounds exciting.
Did you know your daughter goes out of her way in the very short self-biography to state her legal name is Lorelai?
No, I didn't. That's nice. How did you get banned?
It was absolutely ridiculous. I got into a spirited debate about politics with a gentleman who wouldn't stop talking about a storm.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible, terrible website. And now I can't even like Rory's articles when she twiddles them.
Mom, I hate to tell you this, but this was probably for the best.
Your father would have understood this site. He was smart with those sort of things.
To be honest, I think he would have had the same reaction as you.
Well, we'll never know now. I wanted to talk to you about something.
Is everything all right?
I'm thinking of selling the house.
What?
The house! I was thinking of selling it. It's far too big for just one person, and it seems silly to spend all that money upkeeping it when I'd just be as happy as somewhere else.
Are you sure? You've lived there for more than 50 years. Mom, it's your home. Are you sure?
It's simply something I'm considering at the moment. I wanted to speak with you, however, to see if you would affect any of your future plans.
My future plans?
Regarding the house. If you plan to live there after I'm gone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is clear that this thought has never even crossed Lorelai's mind. It hits Emily that Lorelai has never thought of it as well.
Well, I
see. Well, it shouldn't be a problem then. I should go, Lorelai. Tell Luke I said hello.
Mom.
It's too late. Emily has hung up. Interior Rory's bedroom evening. Rory lies on her back staring at the ceiling. She talks on her cell phone.
Hi, I read your short story about the machines.
We see Jess in his apartment. He's on a couch, his legs dangling over the arm.
I read your Wookiee epic.
Yours was better.
More people read yours.
So it goes.
Yours is pretty good too.
It was all right.
Nah, people read your stuff for a reason, and not just because they're about the man with the biggest ball of yarn in Connecticut. You capture something about them that makes people want to read more. You make people know them.
That's my favorite part. Or I don't have to worry about the story or who I'm trying to sell it to or any of that. I just like the part where I just get to be someone else for a bit and bring other people there too. I wasn't even supposed to be this kind of journalist. I was supposed to be a foreign correspondent.
So, print journalism is dead. You were born into the ashes and you found your way. You've done more than a lot of people with a journalism degree. For all the crap you give what you do, there's a million people who'd take it in a heartbeat.
I know. I guess I don't know.
Did you even try to be a foreign correspondent?
What?
Did you try? Did you do internships, sign up for the programs, apply for whatever you needed to apply to make it happen?
No. I just sort of figured at first that if it was meant to happen, it would. And then time went on and I like not being in war zones. I realized I didn't want to do it anymore and I didn't want to run from bombs and risk my life for the story.
You got older and you changed your mind. Happens to everyone. And it happened to you.
I don't love it anymore. Journalism, any of it.
What do you love?
My family, writing, but not the kind of things that I have been.
So write. I write. No one reads fiction, but I love doing it. Write your fluff articles for money, then write the stuff you love on the side. Use that to remind yourself why you love it. Seriously, the fact that you make a living doing what you're doing to begin with means you're already a success.
I miss you.
You always say that when I compliment you.
I do, though. You're doing all right?
Hanging in there.
I really liked your story.
And your article was good.
Do you really think I could start over as a writer? A fiction writer? I mean, I've spent so much time chasing writing journalism. I got my degree in it. I mean, what if I spent all this time chasing something I wasn't meant to do?
Then you're just like anyone with a degree or without one. And you know what's even worse? Spending your whole life forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy because you've already wasted your time on it.
Thanks, Jess.
Jess holds
Cheers
up
to
a beer.
us.
Rory can't see. Rory puts Jess on speakerphone and holds the phone out like a glass.
Cheers to us. I miss my grandfather.
You want to talk about him?
Did I ever tell you about the time he gave me 2 presents on my 16th birthday to put towards a trip to Fez?
Exterior Stars Hollow evening. Rory walks towards Luke's diner. She pauses as Lindsay steps out of a store and directly into her path.
Come on.
Lindsay.
I'm visiting my parents. I'm going home tomorrow. Let's not make this worse than it is.
Lindsay, we never had a chance to talk.
I have to go.
Can I? Oh, okay. Okay. But please just let me give you my phone number if you change your mind.
Lindsay keeps walking, but she slows down slightly as Rory manages to juggle a pen and a scrap of paper. Rory hands the phone number to her.
If you change your mind.
Lindsay speeds up. Rory stands on the sidewalk alone.
Bye, Rory.
Interior of Rory's bedroom night. Rory and Lorelai sit on Rory's bed.
Mom, she's never gonna call me.
That's okay. You finally said something to her.
It wasn't enough.
It was something.
Why did you yell back when Lindsay's mom yelled at me on the street?
What?
All those years ago, when Lindsay's mom yelled at me, why did he yell back? I did something terrible, and I deserved to be yelled at.
Because you're my daughter.
I did something terrible, and I never had to face any real consequences. No one found out but Lindsay and her family, and they didn't spread it around town, and they could have, but they didn't.
You were lucky.
Was I? I just got away with it and didn't think about it again for years. And now to even think about it makes me feel sick. And it's like this person that I was then is completely different than the one I am now. But at the same time, she's the same. And I don't know how to separate the two.
It's called getting old. Welcome. It never stops. I'm still dealing with the fact that I'm the same girl with a perm and disturbingly loud windbreaker in those pictures from the 80s. Your hair. You dyed it.
No, I didn't.
You did. You definitely did. I know your hair. It's a shade lighter, but just a shade. You were off just the tiniest bit. Why didn't you tell me you dyed your... You got a gray.
I don't want to talk about it.
You got a gray hair.
I got 3, and then 1 more the week after. I'm too young.
Oh, honey, it happens to the best of us. Why did you hide that from me? I would have only teased you a little, my baby Jamie Lee Curtis.
How old were you when you got your first?
Oh, I still have it.
That's not fair.
Welcome to life. I had a baby at 16, you're going gray at 32, and it will never make sense. One hell of a ride, though. You're going to be fine. I stuck my foot in my mouth with my mom today.
Again?
She's thinking of selling the house.
What?
It's too big, and I understand it. I don't want her to sell the house, but when I'm there, all I can think about is Dad and how he's not there. It's like the fact that he's not there is in the air, and breathing it is a reminder that he's gone. She needs to go somewhere else.
So what happened?
She asked if I had been expecting the house, and I just kind of reacted like I was the night of the living dead, and I think I hurt her feelings.
Okay. I mean, I never thought you would move there either, and if I were grandma, I would be hurt too.
Thanks for the help.
I never thought about what happens when she's gone. I never thought about what would happen when Grandpa was gone.
Me too.
I don't want to lose her too. And I
What?
don't.
What?
What happens when someday I lose you?
Lorelai doesn't say anything for a very long moment. When she finally does speak, she takes both of Rory's hands in hers.
Then you'll go through hell, and then you'll be okay.
No, I won't.
You will. Take it from someone who's lost a parent. It's the cruelest, sickest joke there is. You will think it will destroy you. Even if it was someone you had a difficult relationship with at times, or maybe because of it. And you will get up each day and you will find beauty in the world, and you will eventually find out that you will be okay. And I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to live forever.
What are you going to do about the house?
I don't know.
I don't think I want to be a journalist anymore.
Interior Gilmore kitchen night. Luke is quietly snacking from a Tupperware of yams. Rory opens her bedroom door and creeps in, grabbing a bag of potato chips before either realizes the other is there.
Oh my God.
Ah, Jesus. You gave me a heart attack.
Sorry, Luke. Wait, I thought you don't snack.
Oh, I snack.
Has my mother rubbed off on you?
Yep.
Rory turns on the light and they sit at the table together.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm realizing everything I thought was important maybe wasn't that important, or that it wasn't important for me, or that maybe it wasn't important to anyone, or maybe it was important for me, but it just isn't anymore.
It sounds complicated.
It is.
But you're okay?
I think. I've been thinking a lot about my grandfather and how he'd think I wasn't a real journalist.
You are a real journalist. Right? Just because you're not a foreign correspondent or writing for the New York Times.
I don't know if I ever wanted that either. I wanted to write, but to write fiction. Mom had me when she was 16 and she dropped out of school, and I couldn't just do something like that. Something that wouldn't pay. I had to succeed somehow.
You wanted to be rich, so you went into journalism?
I didn't want to be rich. I don't know what I wanted, and I don't know what I want now.
Your grandfather was so proud of you. So proud of you.
Yeah, I'm sad that he's gone. And I'm angry, too.
Well, death isn't fair.
Why do we have to lose people?
Why does anything happen at all? All we can do is get up each day and be with the people we love.
And remember the ones who are gone.
Always. He was very proud of you.
You think so?
I know so.
I saw someone recently I treated really badly, and it made me realize I never apologized, and it never occurred to me how to apologize. And Luke, I'm kind of selfish.
What? No, you're not.
No, I am. I've always just sort of done what I wanted to do, and it always worked out. And when I made mistakes, it just always somehow sort of worked itself out, and I never really had to face the consequences. Even the yacht thing. Luke, I was lucky with that. I was lucky. And I never even felt guilty about any of it for the longest time. And just how it inconvenienced me. And I've been looking at myself in the mirror, and I don't know who I'm seeing, and I don't like who I've been. I'm trying to be different, but I don't know who that different person is yet. And the thing I did to that person was really awful.
Luke studies her. He remembers the conversation with Lorelai, and he's smart enough to put two and two together. His facial expression changes, but only very slightly.
Everyone has that moment. You know, I've had that moment like a million times. Humans, we're all selfish creatures.
I don't think that.
Well, I do. And that's all right. Because there's something more to us, something that wants to be better. I don't know. I'm not good with words the way you are.
I do want to be better.
Well, go out there and be better. This may surprise you, but you are much younger than you think. You have plenty of time left.
Thank you, Luke. I still feel bad about what I did to that person.
Then feel bad. But don't let it overwhelm you, if you can.
Luke, I broke up.
She stops, unable to fully admit it to Luke, but it's enough. He puts a hand over hers.
I've been cheated on. Twice. The first time I beat the crap out of the other guy's car and, well, I got arrested. Your mom bailed me out.
What?
Luke leans back and pulls open a drawer. He hands her a fork and they dig into the yams together. Interior Gilmore Mansion day. The doorbell rings. Emily opens the door to reveal Lorelai. Emily is coming to the door.
Lorelai, my goodness, you could have called.
Sorry, was in the area and just thought I'd say hi.
They walk towards the living room.
What business do you have in the area?
Oh, business.
What kind of business?
In business.
What kind of in business?
The stove.
What about it?
It needs a part.
So you're buying it. Don't you have people to do that for you?
It's a long story.
Sounds complex. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it. Would you like a drink?
No, Mom, I just wanted to talk.
They're in the living room. Lorelai sits on a couch. Emily sits in a chair opposite her.
Your call the other day, it surprised me. I think I was rude to you.
It's never concerned you before.
Well, it did this time. With Dagon, I don't know. I know we talk to each other like the way we do because that's what we've always done, but nothing lasts forever. I keep thinking about Dad all the time. All the time, Mom. I see him everywhere and I keep thinking about all the things we didn't get to say. All the things I thought we'd get to do at some point. And now he's gone and I'm just left with them. And I don't want that to happen with you.
Lorelai.
I don't want to lose you without knowing where we stand for one another.
Where we stand? What on earth does that mean? You're my daughter. I'm deeply fond of you.
Is that New England for I love you?
Don't be ridiculous, Lorelai. Of course I love you. What a ludicrous thought.
You never say it.
I bathe every day, but do I announce that?
They're two different things.
Lorelai, enough with the dramatics. I loved you. Your father loved you. Does that make you feel better?
Honestly, kind of does.
Well, I'm happy to be of some assistance.
Oh, and I love you too.
Noted. While we're being open and honest with one another, given it may be some time until we are again, are you ever going to marry that Dynaman?
Say his name. You like him.
Why haven't you married Luke? You have to answer me honestly. I just told you I loved you.
We don't need it. It's hard to explain, but I've seen marriages where the words they said at the altar meant nothing. Luke and I could have gotten married, but we more or less are. He's my rock. He's the one I share my life with.
She trails off. Emily's gaze travels up to the portrait of herself, Richard, and young Lorelai. The adult Lorelai's gaze follows.
I know.
Do you want to do something once a week? Just the two of us? Go to a store or watch a movie together?
We'll kill each other by the second week.
Definitely. Want to do it anyway?
Why not?
Interior, Dragonfly Inn, kitchen, bed.
I made a strawberry glaze too.
Rory samples an assortment of plates Sookie has laid out for her.
Sookie, this is incredible. I've missed you so much, and you're cooking.
Oh, I missed you too. Hey, did you dye your hair?
You know, I did. I found some grays recently.
Oh, Lord, now I feel old. But really, it happens to the best of us. Welcome to the club.
Guess it's easy to forget I'm not the first person it's happened to.
Please. You're one of millions. Whatever happens in life, just rest assured that you're not the first one it's happened to. Unless you're like me and you trip over a mop bucket and set off what more or less tends to be an unintentional Rube Goldberg machine of kitchen utensils and you wind up in the emergency room.
I'm sure that's happened to at least one other person.
That's the spirit.
Rory smiles. As Sookie bustles around the kitchen, she checks her phone. She has a cloud document open, and while we can't see the details, it looks like a lengthy bit of prose with a lot of question marks. Rory lingers over it for a bit, then switches over to a pro-con list entitled Changing My Life. Both columns are empty. Rory deletes it. A text message appears from unknown sender reading, "You wanted to talk?" Rory hesitates, then texts, "Can I call you?" Rory's phone rings. She holds up a finger to Sookie, who waves after her enthusiastically as she steps outside.
Hello?
Hello, Rory.
Lindsay, hi. I didn't think that you'd call.
I did.
You did? You did. Thank you.
Is there a reason you wanted to do this?
Yeah. Yes. I never apologized all those years ago to you, or in the years since, and I owed you that. And I owed you more than that.
We were all 20.
It was still wrong.
Yeah, it was.
You should have gotten an apology years ago. I owed you that. And I'm sorry to bring up old memories and to make you relive all of that, but I wanted to say I was sorry.
Okay, you've said it. Is that all?
Yeah. Sorry to have bothered you.
Did you ever bring those gummy bears back?
I did.
Good. You never seemed like the shoplifting type.
Thanks for buying me that magnet shaped like Mark Twain's head when we were in school.
Goodbye, Rory.
Goodbye, Lindsay.
They both hesitate for a moment as though they want to say more, but then they both relax slightly and hang up. Rory closes her eyes and exhales deeply. Interior Luke's diner evening. Kirk strides in with purpose and plops himself importantly at the counter.
I will have the chicken fingers deluxe and an orange crush large.
Wow, someone's a big spender today.
I made a sale today.
Well, good for you, Kirk.
He glances across the diner where Lorelai and Rory are sitting together. He grimaces as he realizes Rory is wearing a large Luke Danes pin. Rory sees him looking and just points at the wall of her articles.
Anyway, you're voluntarily spending more time with Grandma of your own free will?
Stranger things have happened. How's your novel coming along?
It's not a novel. It's not anything right now.
Yeah?
It's something. I'm not pressuring it into being anything. Maybe it'll become something. Maybe it won't. But I'm just letting it develop and trusting whatever it becomes is what it's meant to be. I don't know.
Makes sense to me.
Luke appears to refill their drinks.
You getting $40 for that?
It was worth it.
Kit, you're only encouraging his behavior.
Unabashedly so.
Yeah, well.
He looks at the wall of Rory's articles.
It's a fair trade, I guess.
He heads back to the counter.
When are you leaving?
Early. I want to beat the traffic. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you. But we'll see each other soon.
We will.
I'll visit you in the Big Apple.
Don't call it that.
The more you hate it, the more I embrace it.
You'd think that I'd learned that by now.
We're always learning.
Rory takes a bite of her burger. Lorelai eats some of her fries.
Mom?
Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
They smile at each other and begin to talk, but we can't make out the words. We pan out backwards out of the diner, mimicking the pan-out shots of the first and last episodes of the original run as the music rises up into the credits, the Gilmore Girls credit theme that we can't play because the video will get taken down from YouTube. The end.
Woo! Hey. Hey!
Are we still live?
Yes. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you for writing such an incredible script.
Okay.